So welcome to the PrevenTable, or PrevenTable, or whatever you want to call it. Here with us today is Christia DeShields.
Hi.
And Christia is, if I listed all of your titles, we would be here the entire episode. But in a nutshell, you're a travel blogger, wife, mom of 3, teacher, faith leader in your community. Apparently you write some songs and sing.
Apparently.
Yes. Right. And we used to work together.
Yeah. So good to be back with you guys.
Nice
A
to have
name
you.
change, right? It was NCADA when I was there, but I love Prevent.
Thank you.
Prevent+Ed.
Prevent+Ed.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. So today, Christia, I asked you to join the conversation around all things mom.
Yeah.
Like mommy. You've seen, I'm sure, the onesies that say, I'm the reason mommy drinks.
Yeah.
Or the cups that say mom juice.
Yeah.
What's the deal with those? And what do you, as a mom of 3,
Yeah.
how do you push back against some of that narrative that you basically have to be drunk in order to deal with your children?
Well, it's interesting because I saw that culture a little bit before I became a mom, and I really didn't think anything of it. I'm a teacher. I was a teacher at the time, and in the classroom I had kids. Kids are like wild. I'm not going to even sit here and say that parenthood is like easy, because it's not. But I always kind of like had a pause about, just like drinking my frustrations away about my kids, And so that's something that I don't want my kids to grow up with, thinking that like I'm drinking because of them. So it's something that I do push back on, and it's something that I push back on too, just like by being who I am and my faith, kind of it helps me, because it really literally it takes a village to raise kids. I'm not gonna even lie.
That is true.
We need all the help that we can get, but there's also like a better way, besides like drinking our cares away.
So you host, I stalk you on social, I'm not going to lie. So I know you and Kenny, your husband, have started hosting Shabbat dinners.
Yeah.
And basically, from what I gather, it's come one, come all, gather in our backyard, which is beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
Who makes dinner? Are you making dinner?
So it turns into kind of like a potluck. So Shabbat is all about rest, because like in our society, it's like hustle harder, team no sleep. No, brothers and sisters, I need sleep. 3 kids, I need some sleep. So it's like, I think we've bought into the lies of society that if we're not hustling, if we're not like not sleeping, if we don't stop working, then we're not doing it right. And I just push back on that. I think that rest is very important for us. Like, and we believe in God, our creator, he rested, so like, how is he going to rest and we're not going to rest, And so Shabbat is all about that. It's all about taking time to just like be present with your kids, be present with your friends, talk about your week, bless each other, share a meal. And it's turned into kind of like a potluck. So people bring like different things, or I'll do something really simple like grilling, or like make a charcuterie board. That's like the easiest thing to do in life. And it looks so fancy.
It's very fancy looking. You're like, I literally cut some cheese.
You just throw a whole bunch of meat and cheese on there and it looks amazing, You can't mess that up. And some fruit, it just looks so pretty. So we try to make it like the least work possible, where we just enjoy each other. And we found the last couple of times, well, the first couple of weeks that we do it on Friday, it was so hard for me to rest. Like,
oh, I bet. Friday nights are the worst for me. I come home and I'm like either right away asleep.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody invites me to something on Friday night, I'm like, you must really not like me.
Like, you're exhausted from the week.
Yeah, but it's not a good rest.
Yeah.
It's not an intentional rest. It's like, let me pass out on the couch.
Yeah. So for me, I was like, I got projects to do. I got to do this. My mind wouldn't rest. But like after I got into the rhythm of it, I was like, wow, this is amazing. And we noticed that like our kids go to bed earlier. It's like their favorite day of the week. They're like, because people come over and like we laugh and have fun. And they like our house just feels so peaceful. So that's something that we've incorporated into like our rhythm, is just like we need to rest. Like,
now, do people drink at your dinners?
Yeah, so we do a communion and we use wine, but
So
everyone has like a glass of wine.
how do you talk to your kids about that? Like,
So-
do you make a distinction between like, this is a grown-up
I do.
drink, this is, talk about how you, because you have, as I mentioned, 3 kids. Your oldest is
He's 6. He'll be 7 next
Okay,
month.
so old enough to pay attention and be
Right.
like, how come I can't have some?
Exactly. So we just basically say that this is a grown-up drink, and they get apple juice. So we all take communion together. So I was like, adults, we have a glass of wine, and kids, we have apple juice, and we really just have a glass of wine.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's not
You're
like
not
we're
like
lushing
dancing
or,
on the table.
Yeah. So they don't really see, a difference in our behavior. They don't see like anything crazy happening. They're just like, oh, you get that juice and I get this juice, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So your eldest
Mm-hmm.
has, I don't think this is a secret,
Mhm.
he has had some learning challenges, I'll say. And you have like just become this outspoken advocate. How can I get my kids what they need? How can I get my son what he needs? How can I make sure he's in the school for him with teachers who understand him? And like, you wrote a book about it and it's kind of amazing.
Oh, wow. Thanks.
It is. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit, like how you as a mom, like just sort of, because you're not like a tiger mom. Like, I don't know if that's a inappropriate thing to say, but you know what I mean? Like, you're not that helicopter parent.
Yeah.
You are first and foremost, like, how can I be there for my family?
Yeah. So like I had several years of like teaching high school where I saw students who didn't know how to advocate for themselves, who didn't have like, I would say grit, who like, and I was just like, wow, when, it's different when you sit across the table in an IEP meeting and you're like a teacher versus like as a parent. Like,
and IEP is
yeah,
individualized education plan.
And so like when your student has challenges, so my son has been diagnosed with sensory processing disorder and ADHD. And so a lot of it, like especially with sensory, like it's not a one size fits all. And it's like some things work for some kids, and so that's those same things that kids have, other kids that have sensory things, they don't work for them. So there was a couple of years of like, what are we like? How do we help him? How do we do this? So we had a village. Honestly, we had a village, and like some really, really tough times. Like as a parent, it was just like you want to be there for your kid, you want to help your kid, you didn't know how, because I didn't see any books really on it.
Right.
I didn't see any books of kids that look like mine.
Right.
I was just like, nobody really, a lot of people talk about autism, but they don't talk about like sensory processing or like, and then the ADHD, it's not just like hyperactivity. It's like, there's so many other comorbidities that can happen with that too, like anxiety. And so my son was dealing with that. And so it was just so much, but we like, and sometimes it's like a diagnosis is super scary.
For sure. And it also can be a relief too.
That's what I want to tell. That's because it was scary. I have friends that are like, they don't want to know, but also the diagnosis kind of like empowered us, because we're like, okay, we know what this is now. Now we can like figure out how to work through this. And so like the book came about from like OT visits and like talking with our chiropractor and like all these different things where I was like, mom and dad are not going to be here all the time. So you need to be able to like advocate for yourself. You need to be able to regulate yourself. And so like we did all of these things, and then I put it in a book form. I always say like it's download from heaven. Seriously, like it just downloaded to me like all these little
Did you
rhyming.
do the illustrations?
Actually, a former student
Get
did the illustrations.
out of here. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm so proud of her, and now she's getting so many requests.
Love it.
Yeah, it's so cool. And so
it came to you.
Yeah.
You put it on paper.
I thought it was just for us. One of my friends came over who I hadn't seen in forever because of COVID.
Yep.
She has 2 kids diagnosed with autism. She read through the book and she's literally like weeping. And I was like, wow, this is for other people. So like the next week we put it out there, and it's like insane, the response of like
it's available on Amazon, correct?
Yes, on Amazon. Sensory Seeking Sebastian. And so it's just a little boy that talks about things that he can do when he's feeling a certain way. And
like that emotional regulation.
he didn't have that language. Like But now Shiloh will be like, Mom, I think I need something like squishy today for school, or I need my weight of, he's able to tell me what he needs. And I'm just so proud of him.
Do you read the book? I'm assuming the answer is yes, but I'm also wondering if there's more that you do. Do you read the book with your other two sons? Like, we've been talking a lot about the word equity, right? And how, as a classroom teacher, you know this, I'm a classroom teacher by trade. Like, you can't treat all of your students the exact same because they need different things.
Yeah.
So how do you talk to your younger two sons about what the older brother needs?
Yeah. So they kind of see how because we say, Shiloh, we use language like, how do you need to regulate yourself? And even Thiago, my middle son, he's like, I think Shiloh needs to regulate. But it's funny, but he, as a middle, like, I've gotten a couple of different books, like, and I have one for my middle child too, because like, it's, I struggled with that fear of like, oh my God, all the attention is like on the oldest because like he needs the most support right now. And so just like, I think incorporating or inviting them into the process with their brother. So I really want them to be like best friends and like look out for each other as they grow. So I think hopefully, I don't know if I'm doing this right. Kids don't come with manuals,
Yeah.
So it's like, I just really try to like incorporate them all together. Even Thiago, if he's like feeling sad, I love that Shiloh's
How old is he now?
He's 5.
5. Okay.
Yeah. So I was pregnant with him.
Oh my God. Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, I love that at Shiloh school, they do zones of regulation. And so now we bring that into our household, which is like,
nice.
Are you in the red zone? How can you get out of the red zone? Or like, that's the angry zone. Are you in the green or the blue? So we're able to use that language with like our other sons as well, not just like the sensory language. So they're getting language. It's just a different type,
Right.
Which is why the book is so important for me, or that principle was so important for me to teach my kids to be able to like advocate for yourself.
Right.
Because like, as much as we want equity and things, it's a slow process to get there. So sometimes you have to like initiate, like, I need this in order to be successful.
Okay, so we mentioned equity, and I didn't tell you ahead of time that I was going to ask this question because I'm just looking at you. And by the way, it's a shame that you all can't see Christia because she's stunning. No, seriously, I'm not just saying that. Fashion, but you like radiate warmth. Like you really do. And I know that gardening and your faith and music and everything that is very like, that's how you practice self-care, right? Family, things like that. Do you feel like this idea of like self-care has been kind of like whitewashed and commandeered by yoga people and green juice drinking folks? I do, personally. I do, but I don't know if you feel like you can see, because you mentioned your son not seeing himself in the books that you were finding. Do you see yourself as a mom of 3, as someone who is faithful? Do you see yourself in the wellness ads that are out there? Like, I don't see me. I don't see me.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. Which is why I'm a huge advocate of advocating for yourself.
Exactly.
If you don't see it, produce it, Like, I feel like we're here to solve solutions, So if I'm seeing an issue with this, I think that the reason that I might be passionate about it is because I'm supposed to do something about it. And so that's kind of how I approach things. Like, if I don't see, like, I didn't see my son in any of the, anybody that he can relate to in books about sensory. So here you go, son.
So what else do you have up your sleeve these days? I hear are you creating more experiences at your, what is happening? Where are you at?
There's so many things. Okay, so I'm a 7 on the Enneagram.
So self-care for Christia is not sleep. I mean, it might be rest, but it's not sleep. So, I mean, you have a lot of projects.
We do have projects.
Where else are you making, because that's what I hear, that you and your family are creating space.
Yeah.
You had, I think, amazing ideas, and you might still have them, on how do you create some space in Del Mar and north of Del Mar. How how do you make sure that there's this sense of connection?
Yeah. So we do a lot on our well, we haven't in the last no, we were doing a lot. But
Yeah.
but we have people like our house was next to a vacant lot that we purchased, and we put a fence around it, and our garden, thanks to Nichole, is there now. She taught me how to garden. And so so we bring people over.
I don't think that's true, but I'll take the credit.
We do. We bring people over, and so we are working on a few things this summer. I'm so boho, just like that's my style. I think that has to do with like that resting as well. And so we're thinking of coming up with something that I'll keep you posted on.
Please do.
Of like helping other people enter into like that rhythm of rest,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I will definitely keep you posted. We got a lot going on. My husband just released an album, and so
and you sang and co-wrote?
Well, I co-wrote 6 of the 12 songs that are on there. And so it's on Spotify, it's on YouTube, Apple Music, it's Christia DeShields, The Real Love Project. And so, yeah, that's something that it was just released last week. And so we're still on that kind of high right now.
So what is let's look into the magic ball, the mirror ball, whatever I don't know. I'm terrible with, sayings. Look in the future. Okay. Where are you and your family in 5 years?
Wow.
I mean, hopefully you're here in St. Louis because you bring a lot to this community. But just in general, where are you at in the next 5 years?
Wow. I haven't even thought about that, but
you're too busy, Christia.
I know, right? It's like what are we doing tonight for dinner? Yeah. But hopefully we will still being able to like do what we love, which is write music that touches the hearts of people. It music that transcends like culture, that transcends race, that transcends religion. Hopefully we'll be still doing that, doing the things that we love, and connecting with people. That's like my husband and I, we have like we feel like our spiritual gift is like hospitality. And so
I totally would agree.
Yeah.
I would totally agree with that. Yes.
We're on the board of an organization that is huge as it regards to racial reconciliation in Ferguson. This past weekend we had a table where everyone was invited, everyone was honored, everyone was able to like speak their truth. But the goal was we had a meal together, and the goal was you can get offended at the table, but don't leave the table offended. So we feel like we're bridges, and so hopefully we'll be able to be bridges, continue on to be bridges to make this world a better place, and the little, amount of influence that we have. So that's kind of where I see us in 5 years, and teaching our kids to do the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why I knew you would be the perfect person to come on and talk about mom life, because I think you embody what I don't see out there about what it means to be a mom. And I just don't think that's, maybe I'm looking in the wrong spots, but I think that you embody what it means to be a mom, which is to put your kids and your family not first, right? Like not ahead of you, but to make it intentional and to create connection in space.
It's like what are you going to do in life that's going to last, that's going to have a lasting impact, And I would say one thing, because it's not easy to be a parent, but just like I think one thing that 2020 taught us is that we're meant for connection, and not being ashamed or afraid to like reach out to people for help.
Right.
Like making those connections to your village, your people. I think that is so important. If 2020 taught us anything, we need each other.
We do. Yeah. Well, I love the idea about the table in Ferguson, and you are welcome back to our PrevenTable anytime. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you like more of, if you like this conversation, if you want more substantive conversations about like real life stuff, please subscribe to this podcast. So thank you so much, Christia.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.